though that may be a generous term for it, of Romeo and Juliet. We are going to read through our things in alphabetical order. Hi, I am Amanda. I am playing Romeo, and I use either they, them, or she, her pronouns.
Hello, I am Bonnie Charlie, also known as Chris. I am reading for Lord Montague and Peter.
Ava. I'm reading for Paige.
Mercutio?
Oh, I am so sorry. Hi, I'm Brand. I'm reading Mercutio. I use exclusively they, them pronouns.
Hi, I am Mike. He, him is fine. I am reading many small roles. I know that I'm at least Gregory, the chorus, Lady Montague, and Paris. I think I'm missing one, but I've got it highlighted. I won't miss my cue.
Okay.
And Fred. I'm reading for Balthazar, First Watched, and Abraham, and something else, I think. There we go.
I'm Polly. I use she, her pronouns, and I am reading for Benvolio and second Capulet and second Watchman and a couple of musicians, and I forget what else.
I'm Professor Dog, he, him pronouns. I am reading for Lord Capulet. Resistance is futile.
Nice.
Demi. I'm Friar Lawrence, and also Samson.
Hi.
Sup?
I'm Rachel. Can you hear me? I'm using headphones for the first time. Does this work?
We can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, your audio
Okay.
is a little bit tinny, but it's okay.
Okay, I might just take them off then. Sorry. Anyway, I'm Rachel. I'm playing a nurse. She, her, but I really don't care. Yeah, that's that.
I'm Saya. I am playing Rachel. I am playing Juliet as well as Friar Jean and Diana.
Hi, I'm Susan. She, her. I'm playing Lady Capulet, Tybalt, second musician, second servant, and third watchman, I think.
I'm Walter, he, him, playing the prince and first servant.
Okay, thank you, everybody. As a general reminder, the stream will have the script on it, but I do think it is preferable for you to also have it on your screen as a general source of truth, since the stream has a slight delay behind where we actually are. And when you are not reading your lines, please mute on your microphone or on Discord or however you're doing it. Okay. Who is reading the prologue?
I think that should be the chorus, and it just isn't labeled, so I can get us started.
Okay, chorus, let's get rolling.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the countenance of their parents' rage, which, but their children's end, naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory! Oh my word, will not carry coals.
Nah, brah, for then we should carry colliers.
I mean, and we being collar, we'll draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out the collar.
I strike quickly, being moved.
Ah, but thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
True, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore, I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters and us their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I fought with the men, I will be cruel with the maids and cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
The heads of the maids or the maiden heads, take it in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel while I'm able to stand. 'Tis known, I'm a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish, if thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy fool, here comes two of the house of Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I'll back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them.
I will frown as I pass by, and let them take as they list.
Hello?
Did I cut out?
No, Discord crashed, and I just
Oh.
came back. Sorry about that. Where were we?
I will
Let
frown as
them
I pass
begin.
by, and let them take as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I will flip my bird at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you flip the bird at us, sir?
Is law of our side if I say A?
Wait, you.
Wait. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
No, please go with flip the bird. Love it.
Flip the bird. Do you flip the bird at us?
I do flip the bird, sir.
Oh, I skipped down. Sorry. I do flip my bird, sir.
Oh, are you flipping at us, sir?
Is the law of our side if I say I?
I don't think so, brah.
No, sir, I do not. But I do not flip my bird at you, sir. But I flip my bird, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, I'm for you. I serve a man as good as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir. Ow!
You lie.
Draw, if you by men. Gregory, remember thy swashing, bro.
Quack,
Heart
clang,
fools.
clang.
Quack-a-clow.
Ting ting!
Part fools, put up your swords. You know not what you do.
Quang.
Grr, cash.
Enter Tybalt.
Bum, bum, bum.
What? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage to part these men with me.
Huh, what, drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward!
Ugh.
Ting ting! Enter several of both houses who join the fray. They enter citizens with clubs.
Snicked, snicked.
Clubs, bills, and partisans, strike! Beat them down! Down with the Capulets! Down with the Montagues!
Enter Capulet in his gown and Lady Capulet.
What noise is this? Give me my longsword, ho!
I have a name. A crutch! you for a sword?
I sword, I say. Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Enter Montague and Lady Montague.
Thou villain Capulet! Hold me not, let me go.
Thou shalt not stir foot till we seek a foe.
Enter Prince with attendants.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel. Will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts that quench the fire of your pernicious rage, with purple fountains issuing from your veins. On pain of torture, from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word, by thee, old Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands as though cantankered with peace, to part your cantankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this peace. To old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death. All men, depart!
Exeunt all but Montague, Lady Montague, and Benvolio. Montague. Do we have a Montague?
Oh no.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew, where you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who nothing hurt withal hissed him in scorn. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part.
Oh, where's Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am that he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drave me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city's side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, that most are busied when they're most alone, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs, but all so soon as the all-chasing sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed. Away from the light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humour prove, unless good counsel may cause the remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it, nor can learn of him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both by myself and many other friends. But he, his own affection's counsellor, is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding and discovery, as is the bud bit with an envious worm, ere it can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the sun. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as no.
Enter Romeo.
See where he comes. So please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by the stay to hear true shift. Come, madam, let's away.
Exeunt Montague and Lady Montague.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not
Again.
having that which having makes them short.
In love,
Out.
of love.
Out of her favor where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing first create, O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz I rather weep
Good heart, at what?
at thy good heart's oppression.
Why such as love's transgression? Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed to see, nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my coz.
Soft, I will go along, and you leave me so you do me wrong.
Tut! I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo, but he is some other where.
Tell me in sadness who is that you love.
What shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan? Why no. But sadly tell me who.
Bid a sick man in sadness make his will? Ah, word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I am so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good markman, and she's fair, I love.
A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity, well armed from love's weak childish bow, she lifts unharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
Then she has sworn that she will still live chaste.
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty starved with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more these happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, put us in mind they hide the fair. He that is stricken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve? But as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair. Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt.
Exeunt. Enter Capulet, Paris, and servant.
He was bound as well as I in penalty alike. 'Tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not even seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
But younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth has swallowed all my hopes but she. She is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. And she agree, within the scope of her choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such I love, and you, among the store. One more, most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads, even such delight among fresh female buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Here all see, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me.
To servant, giving paper.
Go, sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona. Find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Exeunt Capulet and Paris.
Oh, did we get a servant? Because I can pick that up.
Yeah, pick it up.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned, in good time.
Enter Benvolio and Romeo.
Tut man, one fire burns out, another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be holp by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to the eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Your plantain leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For your broken shin.
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and God and for good fellow.
God Gagaden, I pray, sir, can you read?
I, mine own fortune and my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
I, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly. Well, rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read.
Reads.
Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselmi and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brothers Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lovely Helena. Fair assembly, whither should they come?
Up
Whither?
to supper, to our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you not be of the house of Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
Exit.
At this same ancient feast of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline whom thou so lovest, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eyes, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehood, then turn tears to fires. And these who often drowned could never die, transparent heretics be burned for liars. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun, ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid that I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now shows best.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Exeunt. Scene 3. A room in Capulet's house. Enter Lady Capulet and nurse.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now, by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where's this girl? What, Juliet?
Enter Juliet.
Well, now, who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's hear our counsel. Thou knowst my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teeth be it spoken, I have but 4. She is not 14. How long is it now till Lammastide?
A fortnight and odd days.
Even or odd of all days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me, but as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she marry, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake, now 11 years, and she was weaned. I shall never forget it. Of all the days of the year upon that day, for I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove-house wall, my lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain. But, as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the dug. Share, quoth the dove-house. 'Twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years, for then she could stand alone. Nay, but by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about. For even the day before she broke her brow, and then my husband, God be with his soul, I was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou would fall backwards when thou hast more wit. Wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holidame, the pretty wretch left crying and said, Aye, to see now how a jest shall come about. I warrant, and I shall live 1,000 years, I never shall forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel? Quoth he. And pretty fool it stinted and said, Aye.
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam. Yet I cannot choose but laugh. To think it should leave crying and say, Aye! And yet, I warrant it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone, a parlous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, fall'st upon thy face? Thou would fall backward when thou comest to age. Wilt thou not, Jewel? It stinted and said, Aye.
Stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse.
Peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace. That was the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once, I have my wish.
Marry, that marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
Is an honor I dream not of.
An honor? Were not I thine only nurse, I would see thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower in faith, very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another lends content, and what obscured in this fair volume lies, or find written in the margent of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride for fair without the fair within to hide. That books in many eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him, making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love?
Look to like, if looking liking. No more deep will I dart mine eye than your strength to.
Enter a servant.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served up. You called, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in an extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee.
Exit servant.
Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl, seek happy nights to happy days.
Exeunt. Scene 4. A street. Enter Romeo, Mercutio, Benvolio, with 5 or 6 maskers, torch-bearers, and others.
What, shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without an apology?
The date is out of such prolixity, we'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, scaring the ladies like a crow-keeper, nor no without book prologue faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance, but let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have your dance.
Not I. Believe me, you have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above the common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it, should you burden love? Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in. A visor for a visor. What care I? What curious eye doth quote deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no suitor in, but every man be taken to his legs.
A torch for me. Let wantons light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverb with a grandsire phrase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so far, and I am done.
Tut. Oh, done's the mouse. The constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire. Of this Sir Reverence love, wherein thou sickest upon the ears. Come, we burn the daylight. Ho!
Nay, that's not so. Nay, that's not so.
Romeo, ho! I mean, sir, in delay. We waste our light in vain like lamps by day. Take our good
Ugh.
meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that air once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamed a dream tonight.
And so did I,
Well, what was yours?
that dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep? Well, they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with teams of little Tommies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spoke made of long spiders' legs to cover the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spiders' webs, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bones, the lash of film. Her wagoner's a small gray coated gnat, not so big as a round little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel of old grub. Time out of mind, the fairness coachmakers, and in that state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Or the courtier's knees that dream of courtiers straight, or lawyers' fingers, who straighten dreams on fees, or
Damn Skippy.
ladies' lips who straight on kisses dreams, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because the breaths with sweet meats tainted are, if you know what I mean. Sometimes she gallops o'er the courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out his suit. And sometimes comes she with a little tiny pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. These dreams, he of another's benefice, sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches ambuscadors, Spanish blades of healthy 5 fathoms deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he stares and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul, sluttish hairs, which once untangled must misfortune bode. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and leans them first to bear, making them women of good carriage.
Yeah.
This is she.
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace! Thou talkest of nothing!
True. I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air. And more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angered puffs away from thenceforth, turning his face to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast, by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike, drum!
Exeunt. Scene 5. A hall in Capulet's house. Musicians waiting. Enter serving men with napkins.
Where's Potpan that he helps not to take away? He shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher.
When good manners shall lie all in one or two men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
Away with the joint seals, remove the cup, cupboard, look to the plate. Could thou save me a piece of marchpane? And as thou lovest me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone and Nell. Antony and Potpan,
Aye, boy, ready.
you are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber.
We cannot be here and there too. Cheerly, boys, be brisk a while, and the longer live take all.
Enter Capulet with Juliet and others of his house, meeting the guests and maskers.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with. Aha, my mistresses! Which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Am I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen! I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play a hall, a hall. Give room, and foot it, girls.
Music plays, and they dance.
More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room is grown too hot. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, for you and I are past our dancing days. How long is't now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
Fire lady.
Fire lady, 30 years!
Man, 'tis not so much, 'tis not so much. 'Tis, since the nuptials of Lucentio. Come Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years? And then we masked.
'Tis more, 'tis more. His son is elder, sir. His son is 30.
Tell me that? His son was but a ward 2 years ago.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Pretty to beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows. As yonder lady o'er her fellows shows the measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers make bless my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear it sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch you me my rapier, boy. What dares the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Hey, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee. Gentle cause, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman. And to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, Show a fair presence and put off those frowns and ill-beseeming semblance for a feast.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, Goodman boy, I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here, or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set cock a hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to, go to. You are a saucy boy. Is't so indeed? This trick may chance to scathe you, I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my hearts. You are princocks. Go. Be quiet, or more light, for shame. I'll make you quiet. What, cheerly, my hearts?
Patience, perforce, with wilful choler meeting, makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall now seeming sweet convert to bitter gall.
Exit.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, this gentle fine as this, my lips two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Primarily devotion shows in this. Saints have hands that pilgrim's hands do touch, and palm to palm.
Have not saints' lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must share.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips, by yours, my sin is purged.
And have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from thy lips? O trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Mary Bachelor. Her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's dead.
Away, begone! The sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear, the more is my unrest.
Capulet.
Gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Is't it in so? Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on then, let's to bed. Ah, sirrah, by my fay, it waxes late. Oh, I'll to my rest.
Exeunt all but Juliet and nurse.
Hi there, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
The son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that now is going out of door?
Marry, that I think be young Petruchio.
What's he that follows there that would
I know not.
ask his name? He be married. My grave is like to be in my way.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
And then love sprung from my only hate. Early sin unknown and young too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
Time I learned of
Juliet!
Anon, anon. Come, let's away. The strangers all are gone.
Exeunt. Act 2. Prologue. Enter chorus.
Now old desire doth in his deathbed lie, and young affection gapes to be his heir. That fair for which love groaned for and would die, with tender Juliet matched, is now not fair. Now Romeo is beloved and loves again, alike bewitched by the charm of looks. But to his foe suppose he must complain, and she steal love's sweet bait from fearful hooks. Being held a foe, he may not have access to breathe such vows as lovers use to swear, and she as much in love, her means much less, to meet her new beloved anywhere. But passion lends them power, time means to meet, tempering extremities with extreme sweet.
Exit. Scene 1. A lane by the wall of Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
He climbs the wall and leaps down within it. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo!
He is wise, and on my lie hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leaped this orchard wall. Call good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humors! Madman! Passion! Lovers! Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I me! Pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip, Venus, one fair word, one nickname for her purblind son and heir. Young Adam Cupid, he that shot so trim. When King Cophetua loved the beggar's maid, he heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosalind's bright eyes. But her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering, thighs,
Oh, yeah.
and then amends that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise his spirit in his mistress's circle of some strange nature, letting it there stand, till she had laid it and conjured it down. That were some spite, my invocation is fair and honest, and in his mistress's name I conjure only but to raise him up.
Come, he hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted with the humorous night, blinded his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Oh, and now will he sit under the medlar tree and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit. And maids call meddlers, as maids call meddlers, and when they laugh alone, Romeo, that she were, oh, that she were, an open, etc., thou a preparatin pair. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound.
Juliet appears above at a window.
But soft! What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off, it is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold, 'tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they had? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars. As daylight doth a lamp, her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Amy.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wandering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy, pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Why thy father, and use thy name? If thou wilt not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
It's but thy name that is thine. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? Not hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to you. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Romeo would, were he not Romeo, attain thy dear perfection which he owes. Without thy title, Romeo doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all my.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and all be new baptized. Henceforth I will never be Romeo.
Men art thou that thus descended night so stumbles upon my couch?
By a name? I know not how to tell you who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
Ears have not yet 100 words of that tongue's utterance. But I know the sound. That now, Romeo, and a Montague.
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
Thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? Orchard balls are high and hard to climb. Place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kin.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
Who see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
Would not for the world they.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
Tis true.
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire, he lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I'm no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the fairest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face. This would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. Thou, that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on form, fain fairy deny. Half I spoke but farewell compliment. Thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye. I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou knowest is false. Lover's perjury is so black. Gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. If thou thinkst mine too quickly won, I'll frown, be perverse, and say thee no. So wilt thou woo, but else not the word. In truth, fair Montague, I am too. Therefore, thou mayst think my give your light. Trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true, though those that have been more cunning to me. I should have been more strict. I must confess, that thou overheardst I was my true love's power. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love. Art not hath.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Swear not by the moon, the kissed this moon. Monthly changes in her circled orb, just that thy love proved was.
What shall I swear by?
Don't swear at all, or if thou wilt, swear by which is the god of my idolatry. No, the
If my heart's dear love.
well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in thee. To advise, unadvised, to sudden, like the lightning, shall see here, one can say it like sweet good night. Bud of love by summer's ripening breath, prove a beauteous flower when next we night, night, sweet repose and rest unto thy heart, but within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine, thou didst request, and yet I would.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
Be frank, and give it thee again. Yet I wish but for the thing I have. Thy bounty is as boundless as I love more deep, and more I give to thee. More I have, both.
Nurse calls within.
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Montague, be true. But a little, I will come again.
Exit above.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am a feared being in night. All this is but a dream. Too flattering, sweet to be substantial.
Re-enter Juliet above.
Few words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. That thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage. Send me word tomorrow by one that I'll prepare to come to thee. Where and what time thou wilt write. All my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay. Follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
Come, anon! If thou mean'st not well, I do.
Madam!
By I come! Cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
Exit above.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Retiring. Re-enter Juliet above.
Romeo! Lord, this tassel gentle back. It was hoarse and may not spud, else I would tear the cave where Echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine, for my reputation.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo,
My dear,
what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
at the hour of 9.
Will not fail. It's 20 years till then. I forgot why I did back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
Shall forget to have thee stand there, remembering how I love him.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
It's almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird. Let it hop a little from her. The poor prisoner, his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, loving.
I would I were thy bird.
So would I. I should kill thee with much cherish. Night, night. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I shall say goodnight till it be morrow.
Exit above.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Where I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father sell his help to crave and my dear hap to tell.
Exit. Scene 3. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence with a basket.
The grey-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and flecked darkness like a drunkard reels from day's path and Titan's fiery wheels. Now, ere the sun advance to his burning eye, the day to cheer, night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that nature's mother is her tomb. What is her burying grave? That is her womb. And from her womb children of divers kind we, sucking on her natural bosom, find. Many, for many virtues excellent, none but for some, and yet all different. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in herbs, plants, stones, and their true qualities, for naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good, but strained from that fair use, revolts from birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence, and medicine power. For this being smelt with that pot, cheers each part, being tasted, slays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Enter Romeo.
Good morrow, father.
Benedictite! What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused by some distemperature. Or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo has not been in bed tonight?
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Was thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father? No, I have forgot that name, and that name is Woe.
That's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee, ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me, that by me wounded both our remedies, and in the help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Hello.
Hello.
My Discord crashed. Again.
Friar Lawrence.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow, I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosalind whom thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline! How much salt water, thrown away in waste to season love, that of it doth not taste. The sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans ring yet in my ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If e'er thou wast thyself, and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline, and art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline,
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
and badst me bury love.
Not in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide not. She whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well thy love did read by rote and could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence! I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Exeunt. Scene: a street. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio. Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
Ah, that same pale hair-hearted wretch, that Rosalind torments him so, that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, has sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life?
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song. Ugh! The very pin of his heart cleft with the blind boy Beau's butt shaft. He is a man to encounter Tybalt.
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than a prince of cats, I can tell you. Oh, he is the courageous captain of the compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion, rests me his minim rest, 1, 2, and the third in your bosom.
Oh.
The very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the very first and second cause, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high.
The what now?
The pox of such antic, inspiring, affecting, fantasios. These new tuners of accents. By Jesu, every good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, with these perdona me's who stand so much on the new form that they cannot at ease on the old bench? Oh, their bones, their bones. Enter Romeo.
Here comes Romeo, here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Now, is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in? Laura to his lady was but a kitchen wench. Mary, she had a better love to be a rhymer. Dido, a dowdy. Cleopatra, a traveler. Helen and Hero, buildings and harlots. Thisbe, a gray eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The ship, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That is much to say. Such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
Meaning to courtesy.
Yeah, thou most kindly hit it.
A most courteous
Yeah.
exposition.
Nay, I am the very punk of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Oh, well
Heyo.
said. All right, follow me this jest now, thou hast worn out thy pump, but but when thy single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing soul singular.
Oh, single soul just solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us. Good Benvolio, my wits faint.
Switching spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if thy wits run the wild goose chase, I have done, for thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I'm sure I have in my whole, I don't know, 5. Was I with you there for the goose?
Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Uh, thy wit is very bitter, sweeting. It is a most sharp sauce.
And is it not well served into a sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit of a chiffrel that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad, which
Sure
added
you
to the
do.
goose proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Why? Is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable. Now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art. By art as well as by nature, for this driveling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there. Stop there.
Thou desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair?
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short. For I was come to the whole depth of my tail, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear.
Enter nurse and Peter. A sail! A sail!
2-2. A shirt and a smock.
Peter,
Anon!
my fan, Peter.
Good Peter, to hide her face, for her fan's the fairer face.
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good den?
'Tis no less. I tell you, for the bawdy band of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you, what a man you are!
One gentlewoman that God him hath made him for himself the mar.
By my troth, it is well said for himself to mar, quotha. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yes. Is the word well, very well look, I faith wisely, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him for some supper.
Oof. A bod, a bod, a bod. So ho.
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie. That is something stale and whore ere it be sent. An old hair whore, it's very good meant in Lent. But a hair that is whore is too much for a score. When it whores ere it be spent, Romeo, will you come to your father's well to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady. Exunt Mercutio and Benvolio.
Marry, farewell. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And to speak anything against me, I'll take him down. And were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave, I'm none of his flirt gills. I'm none of his skeins mates. And thou must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you a pleasure. If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out, I warrant you. I dare draw as soon as another man if I see occasion in a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
Now, fore God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave, pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say I will keep to myself. But first let me tell ye, if you should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behaviour, as they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and therefore if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart, and if faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence's cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir, while she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to the mistress.
Now God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
What say'st thou, dear nurse?
Is your man's secret? Did you never hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
I warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, Lord, when 'twas a little prating thing. Oh, there's a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard. But she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes, and tell her that Paris is the properer man. But I'll warrant you when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo begin both with a letter?
Ay, nurse, what of that? Both with an R.
Ay, Mocker, that's the dog's name. R is for the... No, it begins with some other letter. And she had the prettiest sententious of it, of you and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Ay, 1,000 times. Peter!
Alone!
Peter, take my fan and go before and apace.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. She cannot meet him. She is lame. Love's heralds should be thoughts, which sometimes faster glide over the streams, running back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pinions doves love, and therefore hath the wings swift but wings. Now is the sun on the highmost hill this long journey. 9 till 12 is 3 hours long hours, yet she is not come. Affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift as motion as a ball. Words would bandy her to my sweet love, his to me. Old folks, many fain as though they were dead. Unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes.
Enter Nurse and Peter.
Honey, nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Exit Peter.
Now, good sweet nurse. Lord, why look'st thou sad? Oh, news be sad, tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am aweary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had.
Thou hadst my bones, thy news. Hey, come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse!
Jesu, what haste! Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? Excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale that thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that, say either, and I'll say the chances. Let me be satisfied. Good or bad?
Well, you made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo, no, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him a gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this I did know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches. What a head have I. It beats as if it would fall in 20 pieces. My back at the other side. Oh, my back, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
I pray that thou art not so. Sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Should she be? Oddly thou repliest. Love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Marry, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
There's such a cold. What's Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
Have?
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church, I must another way. To fetch a ladder by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, all to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
To good fortune! Honest nurse, farewell!
Exeunt. Scene 6. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Romeo.
So, smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. By come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death do what he dare. It is enough that I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in its own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives, as tardy as too slow.
Enter Juliet.
Here comes the lady. Oh, no light foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall so light and
Even
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, over us both.
as much to him.
Ah,
Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it than sweeten with thy breath as neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by the steering counter.
Conceit more rich in matter than in eyes of his. They are but beggars that can count their worth. My true love is grown to such an excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we shall make short work. For by your leaves, you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 1, a public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, page, and servants.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl. For now, these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup, draws it on the drawer, and when indeed there is no need.
Like such a fellow.
Come, come, thou art as hot as a jack in thy mood, and any in Italy. Ah, and as soon as moved to be moody, and as soon as moody to be moved.
And what too?
Nay. And there were two such. Okay. We should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou, why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast? Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as fond of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath weakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter? With another for tying his new shoes with old riband? And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling?
And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple? Oh, simple.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not. Enter Tybalt and others.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shalt find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
I mean, could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortst with Romeo.
Consort? Oh! What? Dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us? Look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Sound! Consort!
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
And men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I. Enter
Well,
Romeo.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Mary, go before to field. He'll be your follower. You worship in that sense may all call him man.
Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain!
Tybalt!
Yeah, I said it.
The reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none, therefore farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm! Dishonorable! Vile submission! Aristocrata carries it away! Draws. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of this 8. You pluck your sword out of its pitcher by the ears. Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Drawing.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado! They fight. Ting, ding, 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 ding.
Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden banding in Verona streets. Hold Tybalt, good Mercutio.
Tybalt, under Romeo's arm, stabs Mercutio and flies with his followers.
Motherfucker!
I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What? Art thou hurt?
A scratch. A scratch, Mary. 'Tis enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon. Exit page.
Courage, man. The hurt cannot be much.
No. 'Tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door. But 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered. I warrant for this world a plague on both your houses. Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio,
Oh.
or I shall faint. A plague on both your houses! They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses! Exeunt Mercutio and Benvolio.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt on my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt then hour hath been my kinsman. O sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Re-enter Benvolio.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe. Others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph, and Mercutio is slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now.
Re-enter Tybalt.
Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. That late thou givest me for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads. Stay for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence!
This shall determine that.
They fight. Ting, 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 ting.
Clang, clang.
Tybalt falls.
Romeo, away, be gone! The citizens are up in Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed, the prince will doom thee death. If thou art taken, hence be gone away.
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Exit Romeo. Enter citizens. And which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee, in the prince's name, obey. Enter Prince, attended Montague, Capulet, their wives, and others.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin. Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, cousin, husband. Oh, the blood is spilled. Oh, my dear kinsman. Princess, thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague. Oh, cousin.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged withal your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt's, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all is hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold, friends, friends part. And swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beat down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I begged for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault includes but what this law should end, the life of
And for that offence, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll laments you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body, and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Capulet's orchard. Enter Juliet. Enter Juliet.
Out the pace, you fiery-footed steeds, charging. Your wagoner, as Pathan would whip you to the west, and bringing cloudy night immediately. At thy close curtain, runaways' eyes may wink. Romeo leaped to these arms, talked of and done. Lovers can see to their amor their own beauties, or if love be blind, disagrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, learn me how to win and lose a winning match. Paid for a pair of stainless maidens. Good my unmanned blood, bade he my cheek. Thy black mantle, strange love grown bold, true love acted, no modesty. Come, knight, come, Romeo, come, our day and night, thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a red back. Come, gentle knight, come, loving black-browed knight, give me my Romeo. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine, all the world will be in love with night. Oh, no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, not possessed it. Though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. Tedious is the day, as is the night before the festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse. She brings news. Every tongue that speaks of Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence.
Enter nurse with cords.
Oh, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? Cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Oh, muted, sorry. Aye, the cords.
Throws them down.
News. Covering thy hands.
Ah, well a day, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack the day, he's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
And heaven be so envious.
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Whoever would have thought it, Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? Torture me to be roared in dismal hell. Romeo slain himself, thou but I, that bare foul eye shall poison more than the death-darting eye of a cockatrice. For if I am not I, if thou be such an eye, thou eyes shut and make thee answer I. If he be slain, say I. Or if not, no. If sounds determine of my weal go.
I saw the wound, I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast. A piteous corse, a bloody piteous corse. Pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood. All in gore blood, I swounded at the sight.
Oh, break my heart, or bankrupt like at once. Prison eyes ne'er look on liberty. I'll earth to earth resign, and motion here, and thou and Romeo pass one heavy bier.
Oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and 'tis Tybalt dead? Dear loved cousin, and dearer lord, and dreadful trumpets sound the general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
What? Romeo's hand shed blood?
It did. Alas the day, it did.
Serpent-hearted with a flowering face, never dragon keeps so fair a cave. Beautiful tyrant, Fiend angelical, self-feathered raven, wolfish, traveling lamb. Despised substance and finest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemst. Damned saint and honorable villain! O nature, what hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst starve the spirit of such a fiend? Immoral paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous place!
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Ah, where's my man? Give me some aquavitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. On his brow shame is shame to sit, and where honor may be crowned. O monarch of the universal earth, what a beast I was to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Will I speak ill of him that is my husband? My lord, what tongue shall do thy name? And I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it. Wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? Villain cousin, would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native. Tributary drops belong to woe. Mistaking offer of joy. Husband lives. Tybalt would have slain. Tybalt's dead. That would have slain my husband. All there is comfort. Wherefore I weep thy then. The word was there worser than Tybalt's murder me. Would forget it fain. But oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. Banished, that one word, banished, has slain 10,000. Tybalt's death was woe ended there. Her sour woe delights in fellowship will be ranked with other griefs. I follow not when she said Tybalt's dead. Thy father or thy mother, or both, which modern lamentations have moved. But with a rare word following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished to speak that word. His father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There's no end. Measure found in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where's my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
I'll say his with tears. And shall be spent when theirs are dry. Romeo's banishment. Pick up these cords. Ropes you are beguiled. You and I, for Romeo is exiled. Made you a highway to my bed. I, maid, my maiden widowed. Cords, concord, thunder, to my wedding bed. Death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Hide your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I would well where he is. Hark ye, Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lawrence's cell.
Find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamoured of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Enter Romeo.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not?
Too familiar is my dear son with our company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment banished from his lips, not body's death, but Bonnie's banishment.
Banishment. Be merciful, say death! For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
And from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death, then banished is death mistermed. Calling death banishment, thou cutt'st my head off with a golden axe, and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
Oh, deadly sin, oh, rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law caused death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law, and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture, and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing, live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They might seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal a mortal blessing from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush, as thinking their own kisses sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished, and say'st thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, though ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished! O friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howlings attend it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed, to mangle me with that word banished?
Thou fond madman, hear me but speak a word.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word, adversity's sweet milk, philosophy to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Yet banished? Hang up philosophy, unless philosophy can make a Juliet. Displant a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Oh, and I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, when that wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet, thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me and like me banished, then mightest thou speak, then mightest thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground, as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Arise, one knocks. Good Romeo, hide thyself.
Not I, unless the breath of heartsick groans, mist-like, enfold me from the search of eyes.
Hark, how they knock! Who's there? Romeo, arise, thou wilt be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Run to my study. And by God's will, what simpleness is this? I come! I come! Knock so hard. Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Enter nurse.
Oh, holy friar. Oh, tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There, on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress's case. Just in her case, oh, woeful sympathy. Piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up, stand up. Stand, and you'll be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O?
Nurse! Nurse!
Ah, sir, ah, sir. Well, death's the end of all.
Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth she not think me an old murderer, now that I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own? Where is she, and how doth she, and what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then falls down again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Drawing his sword.
Hold! Thy desperate hand! Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish, thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Unseemly woman in a seeming man, or ill beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself? And stay thy lady too that lives in thee by doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railst thou on thy birth, the heaven and the earth, since birth and heaven and earth all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once would lose? Ay, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which, like a usurer, aboundst in all, and usest none in that true use indeed, which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of a man. Thy dear love sworn, but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit, that ornament to shape, and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both, like powder in a skitless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance, and thou dismembered with thine own defense. What? Rouse thee, man. Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings lights upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array, but like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou pour'st upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Send her chamber hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 200,000 times more joy than thou wentst forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Ha, you make haste, for it grows very late.
Exit.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Oh, hence. Good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. It is late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Exeunt. Scene 4. A room in Capulet's house. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, and Paris.
Fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Sorry about your dead family, but commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her, mark you me, on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday. Well, Wednesday is too soon. Thursday, let it be. Or Thursday, tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado, a friend or two. For hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore, we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. Oh, Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber, ho! Before me! It is so very, very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Exeunt. Scene 5. Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo and Juliet above, at the window.
Thou begone. It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale, not the lark, that pure love of thine. Lightly she sings on young pomegranate. Me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the moon, nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Sunlight is not to know it. It's the meteor of the sun excel. Be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on thine way to man. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not be.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. I am content. So thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow, nor that is not the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome! Juliet wills it so. How is my soul? Let's talk, it is not day.
It is. Hence, be gone away. It is the lark that sings out of tune, turning harsh discords and unpleasant chirps. Some say the lark makes division. Doth not so, for she us. Some say the lark and loathed toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they arm from arm that voice to us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Enter nurse to the chamber.
Madam,
Nurse?
your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary. Look about.
Window,
Exit.
window, let day in, and
Farewell, farewell, one kiss, and I'll descend.
He goeth down.
well gone so, Lord, thy husband, friend, must hear from thee every day in the hour. In a minute there are many days. All by this count I shall be much years ere I am to
Farewell! I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now. See thee. Thou art now below, as one dead in the eye of a tomb. My eyesight fails her, thou lookest pale.
And trust me, love, in my eyes, so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu.
Exit.
Oh, fortune, fortune. All men call thee fickle. Thou art fickle, what dost thou with him? That is renewed for faith. Fickle fortune, for then I hope I will not keep him long, but send him.
Oh, daughter, are you up?
This that calls, is it my lady mother? Be not down so late or up so early. An accustomed cause procures her here.
Enter Lady Capulet.
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death. What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore, have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Let me weep for such a failing loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss cannot choose but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
Villain, madam.
That same villain, Romeo.
God pardon him, I do with all my heart. Yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Ay, madam, but on the reach of these my hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not, then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua where that same banished runagate doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company, and then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
I never shall be satisfied with Romeo. I behold him. Is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed? Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear poison, I would take Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him. Back, all that bore my cousin upon the body that slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
Joy, tell and what are they, I beseech?
Well, well, thou hast a careful father, child. One who, to put thee from thy heaviness, have sorted out a sudden day of joy that thou expect'st not, nor I look not for.
I'm in happy time. What day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Oh, by St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste. I may must wed, ere he that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you, oh my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
Enter Capulet and Nurse.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew, but for the sunset of my brother's son it rains downright. Here now, a conduit girl? What, still in tears? Evermore showering in one little body? Thou counterfeist a bark, a sea, a wind. For still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing in the salt flood, the winds thy sighs, who raging with thy tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm, will overset thy tempest-tossed body. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you, wife. How will she none? Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful. God, I can never be of what I hate. Thankful even for hate that is my
How now, Chop Logic? What is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud, Mistress Minion. You thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints gainst Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage! You tallow face!
Fie, fie, what are you, mad?
Father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage! Disobedient wretch! I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child, but now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, Hilding.
God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue, good Prudence. Smatter with your gossips, go.
I speak no treason.
Oh God, ye godden.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched, and having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demesne, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honourable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will. You shall not house with me. Look, Doc, think on't. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend. And you do not hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For, by my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to that. Bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Exit.
No pity sitting in my clouds that sees the bottom of my grief. Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week. For if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where it lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Exit.
God, nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. Shall that faith return to earth unless that husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayst thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing. That he dares ne'er come back to challenge you, or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as now doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish-clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were, as living here and you of no use to him.
Speakest thou from thine heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Man,
What?
thou hast comfortably marvellous much. Go in. Oh, my lady, I am gone. Please my father to Lawrence's cell to make confession and be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Exit.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! More sin to wish me thus forsworn, to disparage my lord with that same tongue. He has praised him above compare so many thousand times. O counselor, thou and my bosom henceforth to the friar to know his remedy. All else fail, myself have the power to die.
Exit. Act 4, Scene 1, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Paris.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course, I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore I have little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom he hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which too much minded by herself alone may be put from her by society. Now, do you know the reason of this haste?
But I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward my cell.
Enter Juliet. Happily met, my lady and wife.
That may be, sir.
That maybe must be, love, on Thursday next.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make a confession to this father? Do not deny to him that you love me. So will ye, I'm sure, that you love me?
If I do so, it will behind your back.
Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears.
Tears have got small victory. Enough.
Thou wrong'st it more than tears with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is the truth. What I spake.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
Maybe so, for it is not mine now. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
Thy leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield that I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early I will rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Exit.
Exit.
Shut the door, and thou hast done so. Come weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hear'st of this, lest thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise. With this knife I'll help it presently. God joined my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands. And ere by this hand by thee to Romeo sealed, shall be the able to another deed. Or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another. This shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experience time, therefore, give me some present counselor. Behold, twixt my extremes and me, this bloody knife shall play the umpire. Arbitrary, arbitering that of commission of years and art, but no issue of true honor bring. Be thou not so long to speak, I long to die. What thou speakest, speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution, as that is desperate which we would prevent. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then is it likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame, that copest with death himself to escape from it? And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Bidly leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlement under tower. Walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are. Chain me with rousing bears, or shut me nightly in a charnel house, or covered quite with dead man's rattling bones, with ricky shanks and yellow chapless skulls. Or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in his shroud. Things that, to hear them told, have made me tremble. I will do it without fear or doubt, with an unstained wife to my sweet.
Hold then. Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial. Being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou off. When presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fade to paly ashes, thy eyes' windows fall like death, when he shuts up the day of life. Each part deprived of supple, stiff and stark and cold, like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift. Hither shall he come. He and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to marriage. And this shall free thee from this present shame. If no inconstant toy, no womanish fear abate thy valor in the acting.
Give me, tell me not of fear.
Hold, get you gone, be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua, my letters to thy lord.
Give me strength. Strength shall help a frond. Farewell, dear father.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Hall in Capulet's house. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, nurse, and 2 serving men.
So many guests invite as here are writ.
Exit first servant.
Sirrah, go hire me 20 cunning cooks.
You shall have none else, sir, for I'll try if they can lick their fingers.
How canst thou try them so?
Marry, sir, 'tis an ill cook that cannot lick his own fingers. Therefore he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me.
Go, be gone.
Exit second servant.
We shall be much unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, he may chance to do some good on her. Peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
See, where she comes from shrift with merry look.
Enter Juliet.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
I have learned the shrift to be at position to end your behalf. I am enjoined by Holy Lawrence to prostrate here. Beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforth I am ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord at Lawrence and gave him what became of not step o'er the bounds of.
Well, I am glad on't. This is well. Stand up. This is as should be. Let me see the county. Ay, marry, go, I say, and fetch him thither. Now, afore God, this reverend holy friar, our whole city is much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There is time enough.
Go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
We shall be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night.
Tush. I will stir about, and all things shall be well, I warrant thee, wife. Go thou to Juliet. Help to deck up her. I'll not to bed tonight. Let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once. What ho? They're all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare him up against tomorrow. My heart is wondrous light, since this same wayward girl is so reclaimed.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Juliet's chamber. Enter Juliet and nurse.
Aye, those attires are best. Gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many persons to move the head upon which thou'st know is awesome sin.
Enter Lady Capulet.
What? Are you busy? Oh, need you my help?
I've called such things as are behovel for our state tomorrow. Please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night sit up with you. For I am sure you have your hand full in this business.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Exeunt Lady Capulet and nurse.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet. I have a faint, cold fear thrill that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back to comfort me. Nurse! My dismal scene I need alone. Vile. If this mixture do not work at all, I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no, we shall forbid it. What if be a poison which the friar subtly hath ministered of me dead, lest in this marriage she should be dishonored, because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet me. Or he hath still been tried a holy man. How if, when I'm tomb, I wake before I find out Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there die, strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, like horrible conceit of death, and night together serve the place in a vault, an ancient receptacle, where from these many carry 100 years the bones of all my buried ancestors back. Or bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud. Where, as they say, some hours in this night spirit's resort. Alack, not like that I. So early waking, with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them run mad. Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears? Madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud. In this rage, with some great kinsman's bone, as if with a club, dash out my desperate brains. Look, methinks I see my cousin's ghost, picking out Romeo that did spit his body upon a rapier point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo, I come. I do drink to thee.
She falls upon her bed within the curtains.
Ah,
Scene 4. Hall in Capulet's house. Enter Lady Capulet and nurse.
Hold. Take these keys and fetch more spices, nurse.
They call for dates and quinces in the pastry.
Enter Capulet.
Come, stir, stir, stir. The second cock hath crowed, the curfew bell hath rung. 'Tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, good Angelica. Spare not for the cost.
Go, you cot queen, go. Get you to bed, Faith. You'll be sick tomorrow for this night's watching.
No, not a whit. What? I've watched here now all night for lesser cause and ne'er been sick.
Aye, you have been a mouse hunt in your time, but I will watch you from such watching now.
Exeunt Lady Capulet and nurse.
A jealous hood, a jealous hood.
Enter 3 or 4 serving men with spits, logs, and baskets.
Now, fellow, what's there?
Things for the cook, sir, but I know not what.
Make haste, make haste.
Exit first servant.
Sirrah, fetch dryer logs. Call Peter, he will show thee where they are.
I have a head, sir, that will find out logs and never trouble Peter for the matter.
Exit.
Mass and well said, a merry horse and ha! Thou shalt be loggerhead. Good faith, 'tis day. The county will be here with music straight, or so he said he would. I hear him near.
Music within.
Nurse, wife, what ho? What, nurse, I say?
Re-enter nurse.
Go waken Juliet. Go and trim her up. I'll go and chat with Paris. Hi, make haste, make haste. The bridegroom he has come already. Make haste, I say.
Exeunt. Scene 5. Juliet's chamber. Enter nurse. Enter nurse.
I lost my spot, sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
Scene 5, Juliet's chamber, mistress, what mistress?
Mistress, what mistress? Juliet, fast, I warned her, she. Why, lamb, why, lady? Fie, you slug-a-bed. Why, love, I say, madam, sweetheart, why, bride? What, not a word? You take your pennyworths now, sleep for a week for the next night, I warrant. The county Paris hath set up his rest, that you shall rest but little, God forgive me. Mary and amen, how sound is she asleep? I must needs wake her. Madam, madam, madam. I let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up, if faith. Will it not be?
Undraws the curtain.
What, dressed? And in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you, lady, lady, lady. Alas, alas, help! Help, my lady's dead. Oh, well a day that ever I was born. Some aquavitae ho! My lord, my lady!
Enter Lady Capulet.
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day!
What is the matter?
Look, look! Oh, heavy day!
Oh, me. Oh, me, my child, my only life, revive, look up, or I will die with thee. Help, help, call help.
Enter Capulet.
Shame, bring Juliet forth. Her lord has come.
She's dead! Deceased! She's dead! Alack the day!
Alack the day! She's dead! She's dead! She's dead!
Let me see her. Out. Alas! She's cold. Blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost on the sweetest flower of all the field.
Oh, lamentable day!
Oh, woeful time.
Death hath ta'en her hands to make me wail, ties up my tongue, and will not let me
Come, come! Is the bride ready to go to church?
go, but never to return. O son, the night before thy wedding day, hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law, death is my heir. My daughter he hath wedded. I will die and leave him all. Life living is all death.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face, and doth it give me such a sight as this?
Accursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day. Most saw in fasting laborment. But one poor and loving child, but one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel catched it from my.
Oh, woe! Oh, woeful, woeful, woeful day! Most lamentable day, most woeful day that ever I did yet behold. Oh day, oh day, oh day! Oh hateful day! Never was seen so black a day as this. Oh woeful day, oh woeful day!
Oh, beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain. Most detestable death by thee, beguiled by cruel, these quite overthrown. O love, O life, not life, but love and death.
Is distressed, hated, martyred, killed. Uncomfortable time, why camest thou now to murder our solemnity? O child, my soul and not my child. Death art thou. Alack, my child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried.
Peace! Oh, shame! Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better is it for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part, eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, but 'twas your heaven she should be advanced. And weep ye now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds, as high as heaven itself. Oh, in this love, you love your child so ill that you run mad, seeing that she is well. She's not well married that lives married long, but she's best married that dies married young. Dry up your tears, and stick your rosemary on this fair corse, and, as the custom is in all her best array, bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us on lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black funeral. Our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheer to a sad burial feast, our solemn hymns to sudden dirges change, our bridal flowers serve for a buried corpse, and all things change them to to the contrary.
Sir, go you in, and madam go with him. And go, Sir Paris, everyone prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. Heavens do lower upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
Exeunt Capulet, Lady Capulet, Paris, and Friar Lawrence.
Faith, we may put up our pipes and be gone.
Honest good fellows, put up, put up. For well you know this is a pitiful case.
Exit.
Ay, by my troth, the case may be amended.
Enter Peter.
Who took Peter from Chris?
Somebody took
Musicians! Oh, musicians! Heart's case! Heart's case! Oh, and you will have me live. Play Heart's case!
Why heart's ease?
Oh, musicians, because my heart itself plays. My heart is full of woe. Oh, play me some merry dump to comfort me.
A dump we. 'Tis no time to play now.
You will not then?
No.
I will then give it you soundly.
What will you give us?
No money on my faith, but the gleek. I will give you the minstrel.
Then I will give you the serving creature.
Then I will lay the serving creature's dagger on your pate. I will carry no crotchets. I'll ray you. I'll fa you. Do you note me?
And you ray us and fa us, you'll note us.
Pray you, put up your dagger and put out your wit.
Then, have at you with my wit. I will dry beat you with an iron wit and put up my iron dagger. Answer me like men. When griping grief the heart doth wound, and doleful dumps the mind oppress, then music with her silver sound. Why silver sound? Why music with her silver sound? What say you, Simon Catling?
Marry, sir, because silver hath a sweet sound.
Pretty. What say you, Hugh Rebeck?
I say silver sound because musicians sound for silver.
Ah, pretty too. What say you, James Soundpost?
Faith, I know not what to say.
Oh, I cry you mercy. You are the singer. I will say for you. It is music with her silver sound, because musicians have no gold for sounding. Then music with her silver sound, with speedy help doth lend redress.
Exit.
What a pestilent knave is this same.
Hang him, Jack. Come, we'll in here, tarry for the mourners, and stay dinner.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1. Mantua, a street. Enter Romeo.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly on his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me, how sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy.
Enter Balthazar, booted.
News from Verona! How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, that for nothing can be ill if she be well.
And she is well, and thing can be ill. Body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her mortal part with angels lies. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it to you. Pardon me for bringing this ill news, since you did leave it from my officer.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars! Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight.
Exit Balthazar.
Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples, meager were his looks. Sharp misery had worn him to the bones. And in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins of ill-shaped fishes, and about his sleeves a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders, and musty seeds. Remnants of packthread and old cakes of roses were thinly scattered to make up a show. Noting this penury to myself, I said, and if a man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lies a kind of wretch would sell it to him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun my need, and the same needy man must sell it to me. And I remember this shall be the house, being holiday. The beggar's shop is shut? What? Oh, apothecary!
Enter apothecary.
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there's 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will dispense itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty power fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb. Art thou so bare and full in wretchedness, and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need, and oppression starveth in thine eyes, contempt, and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it and take this. I pay thy poverty, not thy will.
I immediately clicked in this. Drink it enough.
There is thy gold. Worse poison to men's souls. Doing more murders in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou mayest not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell, buy food, and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial, and not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there I must use thee.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar John.
Holy Franciscan Friar, Brother Ho!
Enter Friar Lawrence.
This name should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or, if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Find a barefoot brother out of our order to associate me here in this city visiting Nick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, that we both were in a house where the rain pulled up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bear my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. It is again. Or get a messenger to thee, so fearful they of infection.
Oh, unhappy fortune. By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge, of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence. Get me an iron crow, and bring it straight into my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it to thee.
Exit.
Please? Now, must I to the monument alone? Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. It will beshrew me much that Romeo hath had no notice of these accidents, but I will write again to Mantua, and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Exit. Scene 3. A churchyard. In it, a tomb belonging to the Capulets. Enter Paris and his page, bearing flowers and a torch.
Give me thy torch, boy. Hence and stand aloof, yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Under yond yew trees lay thee all along, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground, so shall no foot upon the churchyard trend, being loose unfirm with digging up of graves, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee. Go.
Almost afraid to stand alone in the churchyard, but I will adventure.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe! Thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will drew. Or, wanting that, with tears distilled by moans, the obsequies that I for thee will keep nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep. The boy gives warning that something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight to cross my obsequies of true love's right? What, with a torch muffle me, night awhile?
Retires. Enter Romeo and Balthazar, with a torch, mattock, et al.
Give me that mattock and the retching iron. Hold, take this letter early in the morning. See thou deliver to my lord and father. Give me the light upon thy life, I charge thee. Whate'er thou hearst or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring. A ring that I must use in dear employment. Yeah. Therefore hence be gone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I further shall intend to do, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all the same, I'll hide me here about. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth, thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
This is that banished haughty Montague, that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died. And here he comes to sue some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone, let them affright thee. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, begone! By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say a madman's mercy bade thee run away.
I do defy thy conjurations and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy!
Ting, 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 ting.
Oh Lord, they fight. I'll go call the watch.
Exit.
Oh, I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb, lay me with Juliet.
Dies.
Bah!
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I made it this far. Oh my god, okay. In faith, I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, Noyle, County, Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad hearing him talk of Juliet? To think it was so. Oh, give me my hand, one writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no! A lantern, slaughtered youth, for here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death lie thou there, by a dead man interred.
Laying Paris in the tomb.
How oft when men are at the point of death have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath, have no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in the dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here, here will I remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, you, the darts of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct! Come, unsavory guide! Thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick weary bark. Here's to my love!
Drinks.
True, apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
Enter at the altar end of the churchyard, or altar end of the churchyard, Friar Lawrence, with lanterns, crow, and a spade.
Oh, Saint Francis be my speed! How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who's there?
Well,
Get out here, Balthazar.
hello?
There's one, a friend, and one that knows well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torch is yon that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern, it burneth Capulet's monument.
It does so, sir, all that you love,
Who is it?
Romeo.
How long hath he been here?
A full half an hour.
Go with me to the vault.
I dare not, sir. My master knows not, but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death. If I on his intent.
Nay then, I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Oh, much I fear some ill unlucky thing.
As I did this yew tree, I dreamt my master and another fought, and the master sleeping.
Romeo!
Advances.
Alack! Alack, what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of the sepulchre? What mean these masterless and gory swords that lie discolored by this place of peace?
Enters the tomb.
Romeo! Oh, pale! Who else? What? Paris too? And steeped in blood? Ah, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance! The lady stirs.
Juliet wakes.
Worshipful friar, here is my lord. Remember well where I should be. And there I am. Where is my Romeo?
Noise within.
I hear some noise, lady. Come from that nest of death, contagion and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict has thwarted our intents. Come, come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet.
Noise again.
I dare no longer stay.
Oh, get thee hence, for I will not away.
Exit Friar Lawrence.
Close to my true love's hand. Poison I see hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl! Don't call, and left no friendly drop. Look me after. I will kiss thy lips haply. Poison death that doth lie, hang on them to make die with a restorative.
Kisses him. Lead, boy, which way?
Hey, noise. And I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger!
Snatching Romeo's dagger.
This is the sheath.
Stabs herself.
Rust. And let me die.
Falls on Romeo's body and dies. Enter Watch with the Page of Paris.
This is the place. There, where the torch burned.
The ground is bloody at the churchyard. Go, some of you, whoever you find attached. Go, tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some others search. We see the grounded whereon these walls do lie. But the true ground of all these piteous walls we cannot without circumstance describe.
Re-enter some of the watch with Balthazar.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety to come hither.
Re-enter others of the watch with Friar Lawrence.
Here is a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him, as he was coming from this churchyard side.
Great suspicion. Stay, the friar.
Enter the prince and attendants.
What misadventure so early up that calls our person from a morning's rest?
Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, and others.
Be that they so shriek abroad.
The people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears?
Sovereign, here lies the County Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before war.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
His friar and slaughtered Romeo's men with instruments upon them, fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh heavens. Oh wife, look at how our daughter bleeds. This dagger hath mistaken, for lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and it missheathed in my daughter's bosom.
Oh me! This sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Enter Montague and others.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up, to see thy son and heir more early down.
Then spake Montague.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. Further woe conspires against my age.
Look, and thou shalt see.
O thou untaught, what manner in is this? Just before thy father to a grave.
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities, and know their spring, their head, their true descent. Then will I be general of your woes, and lead you even to death. Meantime forbear, and let mischance be slave to patience, bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do least, yes, most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. And here I stand, both to impeach and purge myself, condemned and myself excused.
Then say at once what thou dost know in this.
I will be brief, for my short tale of breath is not so long as is a tedious tale. Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, there dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from the city. For whom, and not for Tybalt, Juliet pined. You, to remove that siege of grief from her betrothed, and would have married her perforce to County Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some means to rid her from the second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then I gave her, so tutored by my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it wrought on her the form of death. Meantime I writ to Romeo that he should hither come as this dire night to help to take her from her borrowed grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But he which bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. Then all alone, at the prefixed hour of her waking, came I to take her from her kindred's vault, Meaning to keep her closely at my cell till I conveniently could send to Romeo. But when I came, some minute ere the time of her awaking, here untimely lay the noble Paris and true Romeo, dead. She wakes, and I entreated her come forth and bear this work of heaven with patience. But then a noise did scare me from the tomb, and she, too desperate, would not go with me. But, as it seems, did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy. And if aught in this miscarried by my fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hour before his time, unto the rigor of severest law.
We still have known thee for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say in this?
The same death going in the vault. I had departed not and left him there.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. Where is the county's page that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
Came with flowers to his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with whom by and by my master drew on him, and I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, the course of love, the tidings of a death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished.
O brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I will raise her statue in pure gold. Verona, by that name is no figure, trait beset, that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie, poor sacrifices of our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence, to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished, for never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.